Now, Donald Trump's primary bandwagon is showing no sign of slowing down. On the weekend, he trounced former Governor Nikki Haley in her home state of South Carolina. Haley continues to battle it out against Trump, who secured 60% of the vote in that state. Other Republican candidates have left the race, but Haley won't quit for now. Let's go to the US commentator Kristin Tate.
Yes, Chris. Well, losing in your home state is bad enough, but losing in your home state by 20 points, that is just really bad. And then losing in your home state by 20 points after losing every other state in the primary before your home state, it's just so embarrassing. Nobody knows why she is still in this race, Nikki Haley. But I do have a few theories. I think she might just be sticking around in case, God forbid, Donald Trump somehow becomes disqualified to run or gets taken down by his legal woes. But Chris, all of these legal problems just seem to make Trump stronger. They don't seem to be slowing him down at all. And hey, Nikki Haley has tons of money, so I guess she figures she may as well just stick in the race. Hilariously, she raised more money than Donald Trump did in January, which just shows you that the donor class of the GOP is laughably out of touch with the GOP voters.
Well, suggestions also a lot of Democrats are supporting her for nefarious reasons, I suppose. I mean, I think you're right. I think she wants to be the second runner there in case something does happen to Trump. Then she's got a bunch of delegate votes there, I suppose, that she can point to. But here's how she explains the need to carry on and not pull out of the race.
I'm not giving up this fight when a majority of Americans disapprove of both Donald Trump and Joe Biden.
She does have a point, doesn't she? Despite Trump's popularity with some sectors of the Republican Party and a lot of people still hanging in there behind Joe Biden, they both have a lot of antagonists right across the country.
Well, she certainly would not be the person to, be Miss Popular compared to Donald Trump and Joe Biden. I have yet to realize who the constituency for Nikki Haley is, Chris. I know a lot of Republicans, and I don't know any who are excited about Nikki Haley. The few people I come across who like Nikki Haley are just Democrats, and they wouldn't vote for her. They just say things like, Nikki Haley's doing a good thing by challenging Trump. In fact, I read a Washington Post report before we went on air about all Joe Biden donors throwing some money at Nikki Haley, not because they want her to win or they would ever actually vote for her for president, but because she's just a mouthpiece out there trying to tear down Trump and doing Joe Biden's work for him. So I don't suspect that she will be successful in any way, but maybe she wants to run in 4 more years if Donald Trump loses to Joe Biden in a general, and then she can at least say, well, hey, you should have voted for me. But even then, I mean, the GOP has just changed so much that the base at this point is really not where she is. She represents the Republican Party maybe 10, 20 years ago, not the populist right of today.
Just on Donald Trump, as you say, these legal challenges, they don't seem to trouble him. They certainly wind beneath his wings. He's campaigning strongly. Now, we've seen politicians often wrap themselves in the flag, metaphorically, but Donald Trump took that to a whole new level on the weekend. Have a look.
No doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
I mean, Kristin, kissing the flag, isn't that a breach of protocol or something?
Chris, this is why people love Donald Trump. He actually loves this country. The Democrats on the left, it's become very fashionable to just constantly criticize the country and patriotism. And Donald Trump, say what you will about him, he's a very flawed character in many ways, but he truly does care about this country. He is one of the most successful businessmen in the history of the United States. He could be off having a great life right now on his golf course, but he is doing this to save this country and bring it back from what Joe Biden has done to it. Life is worse in nearly every way under Joe Biden, and Trump realizes that. And he's doing this because of a love for his country and a love for Americans. He doesn't talk down to his base or to average blue-collar people the way Democrat elites tend to. And that's part of why he is so likable.
He wants to make America great again. We shall see. I want to finish on something that's ugly. It's manifesting itself in Australia a lot of anti-Jewish sentiment, anti-Semitism, Jew hatred being expressed on our streets here. It's infested Europe and the UK, and it's infesting the United States as well. Have a look at comedian Jerry Seinfeld going to his car and the abuse that he has to put up with. Kristin, this is just terrible, targeting a celebrity because he's Jewish, effectively.
This is despicable, and I have to tell you, the mainstream media here, Chris, is not really covering this. They don't want Democrat voters turning on the left-wing progressive agenda. But despite the best efforts of the media, I have to tell you, many of my friends who are Democrat voting Jewish people are beginning to question their party because the leftist radicals are taking up all the oxygen in the room when it comes to the Democrats and even with the party elites at this point. So this issue going on in Israel with this conflict is turning a lot of Democrat voters in this country against the party. They don't necessarily like Donald Trump, but Jewish Americans of all political leanings are disgusted by what's going on, as are good Americans like myself who are not Jewish, but are just appalled by this behavior.
It is shocking stuff, and political leaders right across the Western liberal democracies have got to speak up more strongly against it. Thanks for joining us, Kristin. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Chris. A pleasure as always.